All right, let's get this thing moving.
What up? What y'all doing? How y'all is? Welcome to my channel, Kicking It with K-Rat. Yeah. We're gonna dig on into this for a little bit. How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all the viewers out there. I'm almost hitting 100,000 views on my channel. And a special thanks out there to all the crew out there at Sonic. All those views y'all keep watching all my shit with just helps me grow my channel. So I greatly appreciate all those damn views y'all keep giving me on everything. Everything, I appreciate it. It seems like everybody at Sonic and the office watch every video I do, and I appreciate it. Every time y'all watch, I get a little view, a little view, a little view, and all it does is make my channel grow, where I could possibly start making some money. I'm not really worried about making money, but y'all keep viewing my channel and helping it grow. I'll do it. Yeah, I appreciate it. I got subscribers growing out my ears right now. Appreciate all y'all watching. Hey, Janet. Hey, Travis. Hey, Sonia. How y'all doing? I appreciate y'all watching. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the big old Sonic crew. Appreciate y'all watching too, especially old April up there at Church Road. You were my #1 fan. Yeah. All right. You know, my girl got on to me today about my negativity. Because of my recent check-in of a certain individual, and that I need to be more positive. So today we're going to start being positive about everything, because I don't have nothing to worry about. Yeah, I got some legal issues coming up here in the future, but I don't think I really have anything to worry about. Not since the last little legal issue and how all that turned out. No, I really don't have nothing to worry about. So anyway, thank y'all once again over there at Sonic in the office. I appreciate y'all watching. Probably got a few of y'all at the store on my subscribers. So thank y'all for subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. So just want to make sure I recognize y'all's wonderful contribution to my YouTube channel. It's greatly appreciated. I especially like how y'all take pictures of my car, my motorcycle, old Turkey Neck and her sidekick, and try to use it and say that these cars are driving by people's places and stuff. That's so fucking funny. I swear. I love how y'all try to just spy and stalk my YouTube channel, because y'all ain't got nothing else better to do with your lives. I'm glad I'm keeping y'all entertained. So y'all just keep watching. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of that negativity shit, and I'm gonna move on to positive things, because I tell you what, I have the most wonderful woman in my life. I made a little video earlier today on my channel talking about how wonderful it is to have somebody that actually loves you and is grown and an adult enough to have conversation with you when there's problems that arise. You know, we may not work it all out at first, but we still sit down and talk it out and get the problems resolved between the two of us instead of just storming out of the room with our snot bubbles blowing and, just giving up on everything just because we don't agree on something. So it's nice to have a woman in my life like that, a grown ass woman for a change. So I appreciate it, and she's good to me. She's damn good to me. But we're gonna talk about what's going on in the world. I don't know if y'all realize this or not, but we are on the verge of World War III. We are absolutely on the verge of World War III. Now we got the U.S. military getting involved in Yemen, striking the Iran-backed Houthi militias that they have in there. Y'all hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Oh, sorry about that. I had to go cut the damn heater off. It done got hot up in here. I mean, it's supposed to get real bad cold here in the Memphis area in the next week. And, like single to net digits. So, I winterized the house yesterday, made sure everything was sealed up and everything. But anyway, get back to what we was talking about, World War III. They got the Israel-Gaza conflict going on, war basically, where Israel's going in there basically in the Gaza Strip and just plowing it up, bombing everything, and just going apeshit crazy in Gaza. I mean, I don't personally, to be honest with you, I don't give a shit about Israel. I don't give a shit about Gaza. I give a shit about America. I give a shit about the South. I give a shit about where I live and how my country is ran. If them people over there want to fight with each other, let them fight with each other. But I would rather us here in the United States keep our freaking noses out of it. Yeah, keep our noses out of it because it ain't none of our business. It's between them, I wish we could go back to pre-World War I where we was like, we didn't bother nobody. We was minding our own business. And if they had some conflict or war halfway around the world, we didn't give a shit. So that's my personal opinion about it. I don't give a shit about Israel. I don't give a shit about Gaza. I don't give a shit about Yemen. I don't give a shit about I don't give a shit about Ukraine. What's going to affect my life? What happens over halfway across the world? Hardly nothing. Yeah, hardly nothing. So I'm not worried about it. But we got dumbass Joe Biden up there in the White House, so he's done ordered strikes on the Houthis down there in Yemen. But basically, the U.S. and Britain involved in attacks on these militants or whatever you want to call them, and that's basically a war. So I'm gonna read. This is from the BBC. This is strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen show war in Gaza has already spread. See what I'm saying? World War III. It is time to stop talking about the risk that the war in Gaza will spread elsewhere in the Middle East. It already has happened. Hopes for containing what is happening rest on the fact that it is still relatively low level compared to the worst case scenarios of regional war. The U.S. and British attacks on the Houthis in Yemen are not just as ministers in London have suggested about the freedom of navigation and world trade. They're directly linked to events in Gaza and represents an escalation of the crisis that is gripping the region. Now you see that it says U.S. and British attacks in the Houthis in Yemen are not just about the freedom of navigation and world trade. Key statement right there. Key statement. It's not about, they're on the news and the mainstream media, they're saying that all the warmongers and the establishment folks are saying, well, it's to prevent these Houthis from pirating cargo ships and stopping traffic in the sea. Well, it just explains right there that that's not what this is about. That has nothing what it's about. But on the news, that's what they're trying to make people and tell people that's what it's about, is they're trying to prevent cargo ships from being attacked and stuff in the Red Sea. Or not the Red Sea, but the Bering Straits up there. Oh, what's the name of that? Persian Sea. My bad. Excuse me. My geography's off big time. They're directly linked to the events in Gaza. That's what it says right here. The Houthis immediately vowed to respond. It is also entirely possible that the pro-Iranian militants in Iraq and Syria will increase the action they are taking against the American forces in the region, which is Iran and Syria. We got troops still in Iran, just if y'all didn't know that. If that theater heats up more, the U.S. forces will retaliate. It will be harder for the American diplomacy effort to avert all-out war between Israel and Hezbollah, the Lebanese militia, and political movement backed by Iran, which they talk about the Houthis. The Houthis are also part of the network of allies and proxies, the so-called axis of resistance that Iran has constructed to give it forward defense against its enemies. They're getting increasingly sophisticated weapons from Iran, but it is best to think of them as allies rather than Tehran's proxy. I've spent quite a bit of time in the Houthis in Yemen, and they are people who are highly independently minded. They will relish conflict with the Americans. They want to be part of this war. What is happening suits both the Houthis and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Yes. It's basically they're giving them what they want. They're giving them what they want, and they know that they're going to fight back. And so then the mainstream media and the establishment pieces of crap in Washington, D.C. will say, oh, look, it's going to be another Gulf of Tonkin, like it was in Vietnam, something that didn't really happen at all to provide support for America to go to war in Vietnam. They're going to bait and switch everybody is what they're going to do. Yeah, they're gonna beat them war drums. The media is going to help them. The establishment rhinos and Democrats are all going to jump in on board. And next thing you know, World War III is going to break out. And all your grandkids and kids that are under the age of 35, well, guess what? They're going to get drafted. And their ass will be going overseas to fight for a war that, we shouldn't be involved in to begin with. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. So it's crazy. It's crazy. And then the United States and Britain are just escalating it further by getting involved. That's right, Travis. America first. I'm American. I'm not no damn Israeli. I'm not no Palestinian. I'm not no Yemeni. I'm not nothing. I'm American, Southern American. I don't give a shit about what's going on over there. Leave them boys alone. Quit spending money, my tax money on doing something that ain't going to affect me in no kind of way, Damn, fuck all that shit, It's stupid. But then you got the federal government. We're going to change gears here. Here's a story from Rutgers. Texas erects new border barrier as the dispute with Biden administration ramps up. The Biden administration is trying to stop Texas from protecting its own border, which is a violation of the Constitution. The presidency is supposed to be the one to keep the border secure. Well, they just got it wide open. Do you understand that we have more immigrants in this country right now than we have births? Yes. We have more illegal immigrants coming in this country than the children that are being born as Americans. Do you realize that? That's the God's honest truth. Elon Musk touched on that subject just this past week. But let's dig into this. Texas erects new border barriers. Disputes with Biden administration ramps up. Let's see what it says. Washington, January the 12th. Texas this week erected new barriers along part of the state's border with Mexico, blocking Border Patrol access. A court filing said on Friday, as conflict over migration escalates between the state's Republican governor and Democratic U.S. President Joe Biden. The Texas National Guard added new concertina wire, that's weird, and fencing to stretch on the border near Eagle Pass, blocking U.S. Border Patrol access to City Park that contains a boat ramp agents use to reach the Rio Grande. The U.S. Department of Justice said it's in a filing to the U.S. Supreme Court. Robert Daniel, a U.S. Customs and Border Protection official, stated in the filing that without the boat ramps, agents had no way to monitor that area and no practical options for responding to migrants who may be in distress, which I'm probably sure is a lie. The dispute is part of the border standoff between the Biden administration and Texas Governor Greg Abbott over record number of migrants illegally crossing the border since Biden took office in 2021. Do you know that there's been almost 10 million, probably more than that? That's just what they know. 10 million illegal immigrants have crossed over into the United States since the Biden administration took office. They did. I mean, they're just letting them in. I mean, they're just letting them. They don't even process them now. They just let them flow on through. And so, how many of those people are terrorists? And from like over in Middle East and got a way to get to Central America, and sales of them are perforating our border and setting up terrorist networks within our country, or you never know. You never know. All our enemies, I'm sure, even Chinese people, they're showing Chinese people, even them crossing the southern border. What the fuck is Chinese people crossing the southern border? They got to get on a boat to get over here first, don't they? So that just tells you how porous it is, how freaking open as a floodgate. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And if you watch some of the videos from down there, it's like an invasion, dude. We're being invaded, basically. We're absolutely being invaded at the southern border by a bunch of illegals that we have no idea who they are, what kind of criminal record they have, what kind of background they do have, or what. We have no idea. And one of Abbott's more prominent moves, the state since 2022 has bused some 100,000 migrants from the border to Democratic strongholds further north, including Chicago and New York. And now the New Yorkers are up there blocking the streets, blocking the buses from even entering the damn city because they're tired of that shit too. They're taking children out of schools in New York City and putting housing illegal migrants in school and making the children go take on home classes, like online classes. Yeah, in New York City right now. They're catering to all these damn illegal immigrants. Just letting them in. Kicking kids out of school in New York City. Look it up. I promise you. I'm not bullshitting you. And the people in New York, even though they're a bunch of stupid ass Democrats that keep voting for the Democrats, they're up there protesting all these immigrants that's coming in and flooding their city. So here, Abbott on Friday press conference said Texas has the legal authority to control an entry to any location within the state, including Shelby Park and Eagle Pass. The authority is being asserted with regard to the park in Eagle Pass, Texas, to maintain operational control of it, the governor said. The spokeswoman for the Texas Military Department said the National Guard has maintained a presence on the temporary barrier in the park since 2021, and that current actions amid to deter further illegal crossings. The Biden administration earlier this month asked the Supreme Court justice to temporarily allow Border Patrol agents to cut or remove controversial wire fencing that Texas said is needed to deter illegal crossings. See right there? The Biden administration is asking for the Supreme Court permission to go remove all the barriers that Texas has put in place to protect their own border. I mean, is that not sedition? I mean, that's basically fucking sedition, ain't it? Migrant arrests at the border have dropped in recent weeks after surpassing 10,000 per day in mid-December, according to the international U.S. government figures shared with Rutgers. While Mexico has stepped up enforcement, a senior U.S. official earlier this month cautioned the migrant crossings have historically fallen around Christmas and could rise again. Oh yeah, when summertime gets here, it's going to get ramped up. Sure is. It's going to get ramped up. It's crazy how the administration does not give a flying shit about the border and how they will do everything in their power and their abilities to stop a state within the United States from protecting their own border. It's absolutely ludicrous. It's just, it's silly. It's just a prime example that shows you right there that Biden administration don't give a flying fuck about you or this country. And the sooner his ass gets out the office, the better off we will be, and I can promise you that. But I'll be leaving the links to all these these news articles in the comments or in the description as soon as I get done with this video. But we're going to move around over here to Memphis and talk about this fabulous city that I have to work in every single day. and how wonderful it is to be one of the most violent cities in the nation. Sure is. I think they've already had like 12 murders since the first day of the year, and I'm not bullshitting you. Almost every night on the news, one or two people are getting killed. Every night. Sometimes more. And it's not going to stop. I hate it. It's not going to stop. But this is from a local news channel, News Channel 3. Memphis businesses asked Nashville lawmakers for a crime wave aid. They're begging Nashville to send more money to the city of Memphis, which I think is a bad idea because all them commie son of a bitches that work for the city of Memphis are going to stick it in their freaking pocket and ain't going to help the citizens of Memphis by no means. They might hire a few more police officers or something of that other to make it look like they're doing something, but all in reality, that's all nothing but smoke and mirrors because they don't give a shit because they're Democrats. The Democrats are there trying to make themselves rich while they're in office. I mean, GOP do it too. I mean, they do. They all do it. They all do it. It's a crying shame. It's sickening. Most people only seek to get office to make financial gains, not much else. But anyway, Memphis area business leaders are pleading with Tennessee's governor and Republican lawmakers for help amid violent crime epidemic that they say is hurting residents and businesses. As businesses and community leaders' confidence in local public safety systems has fallen to an unsustainable low. Crime is impacting our neighbors, customers, employees, and investors, Ted Townsend, president and CEO of the Greater Memphis Chamber, wrote. Tennessee deserves to feel safe buying groceries, getting gas, or going to work. Our community needs your direct intervention. And this is from the president CEO of Greater Memphis Chamber, which is actually a left-leaning piece of crap organization. But, you voted for it. Now you got it. Now you're begging for help from all the Republican GOP lawmakers in Tennessee, in Nashville. Ain't that funny? Ain't that funny? Y'all voted for this shit. Ain't nobody to blame but looking at yourself, Mr. Ted Townsend. Townsend had hand-delivered the letter Wednesday to the offices of Governor Bill Lee, Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally, and House Speaker Cameron Sexton. The letter was signed by some 90 executives from companies within Memphis ties, including FedEx. FedEx is fucking huge in Memphis. First Horizons, Nike, Carlisle Group, and the University of Memphis. If FedEx ever packed its shit up and left Memphis, Memphis would be done. Memphis would be absolutely done. Graceland would get burnt down to the ground eventually because the crime would get so bad because there ain't nobody around here got no work. There ain't a lot of good work around in Memphis. There is, but it's all going downhill so bad that all these companies are going to leave and everybody's going to be unemployed. And guess how good the crime rate's going to go up then? Oh, it's going to skyrocket, worse than it already has. There's plenty of jobs out there hiring around, but they may not be at FedEx, or they may not be at the airport or wherever. But eventually all that shit's going to close down and go away. Because every place in Memphis that they have that was a good place to go hang out and have a good time with your friends and stuff has turned to a shit show. There's always going to be some shootings going on or something. Every time. Or your car's going to get broke into, or some bullshit, you're going to get robbed, some shit like that, carjacked or something in the city of Memphis. I would advise everybody, stay out of the city of Memphis when the sun goes down. Don't come here for vacation. Don't come here for a weekend extravaganza or anything like that. Stay the fuck out of Memphis. The city cites a post-pandemic surge of organized smash and grab rings, which is every day, violent crimes committed with firearms, which is every day, and the lack of criminal prosecution by overwhelmed judicial system, which happens every day with that damn prosecutor they have, that district attorney they have up there, letting damn murderers out on their own recognizance and shit. Where jury trials have dropped from more than 200 a year to fewer than 40 last year. It also decried catch and release, bail process, policies, and plea deals as street gangs terrorize citizens. Yeah, see, it decries catch and release because that's what they're doing. They're catching them, charging them, and letting them go. I mean, for violent crimes, for super violent crimes. According to Memphis Shelby County Crime Commission, overall crime increased almost 10% from 2022 to 2023, and violent crime increased by 5%. Memphis has set a record with 397 homicides, more than one per day last year. But Townsend says the public defender's office has only 2 staff members to handle 37 first-degree murder cases. Yeah. Lack of resources cannot be excused for a state as physically sound as the state of Tennessee, Townsend said. Josh Hammond, co-owner of Buster's Liquor, was one of the business leaders who signed on to the letter. His store was burglarized not once, not twice, but 3 times in just a year and a half, costing the business roughly $100,000 to rebuild. You're just disgusted because we've got a great city and you're letting these thugs ruin it for everyone, Hammond said, the owner of Buster's Liquor. But Townsend said it's not too late to turn things around and to make it a safer and prosperous Memphis, as long as the state steps in. Well, I hate to tell you, even if the state did step in, they started handing the city of Memphis money to start doing programs to fight crime, they would stick it in their freaking pockets. They would do the very minimum they would have to do to get by with it and to stick the rest of it in their pockets. Because they're Democrats. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about the city of Memphis. They don't give a shit about the state of Tennessee. They don't give a shit about America. They all hate America anyway. So you think they're going to care? No, the only thing they're going to care about is packing them pockets full of that cash that the state is giving them for free. Yeah, that's all they're going to do. That's what it's all about. Money, 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 money. But there's one thing I want to close with, and that's this thing we have in this world called innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Time and time again, I see it too often that I see people that are put their faces up on a TV screen or put in a news story or something like that, that someone has been charged with a certain crime. Okay? People, quit being stupid. Okay? Because someone is being charged with a crime does not mean that they are guilty of a crime, because people are falsely accused every single day in this country of something that they did not do, but they've gotten charged with it. It is not your responsibility as a human being or a person or an American or a Southern or whatsoever to pass guilt. You have an obligation for an opinion by all accounts. I give you that power. But once a person is charged with a crime, it does not mean that that person is automatically guilty. That means that person has been accused of a crime, and he or she will have their day in court, and that is the entity that will provide whether one person is guilty or not. Stop this assumption by just a mugshot and a charge being placed on someone that a person is automatically guilty. Because I just recently had an incident not long ago that I was falsely accused of some bullshit, and when I got to court, the courts threw it out automatically. But everybody that heard about this charge that I had against me, I probably automatically thought that I was guilty. Even some family members of mine. And that's the most asinine, ignorant ass shit as a human being that's got a brain between your eyes to think. It's not your responsibility to hand down guilt, especially in a criminal case or a charge. That's what the courts are there to do. Give your opinion, more power to you. But stop being ignorant and stupid, because all you do when you assume that someone that's been charged with a crime is guilty is ruin their life further than it's already been ruined to begin with. So stop being stupid out there, people. Just because a person is charged with a crime does not mean that they're guilty thereof. So please, remember that. I'd greatly appreciate it. But I appreciate all y'all out there watching this evening. I think I'm going to do this here quite often, you know. I got to start getting back in the routine of doing something productive and being positive. And it's time that I make some changes in the things I do videos about. So all that other bullshit I got going on, I'm just going to leave that shit alone, because I know without a doubt in my mind that everything's going to be perfectly fine. Yep, I ain't got shit to worry about. So why am I worried about stupid people that I shouldn't even focus my energy or power on? I'm going to take my power back, and I'm going to use it to do the things that I love to do, just like talking to you fine folks out there. But I appreciate all y'all watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. And especially all y'all folks up there at Sonic, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all giving me all this viewership, making that daggum tally go on up there. Maybe one day I'll get that little silver plaque I've been hoping for. But don't ever forget, God bless Dixie.